You are watching AFL.com.au on what is being described as one of the darkest days in the history of Australian sport. Matt Thompson alongside Callum Toomey and Nick Bowen as our coverage continues. And Cal, I don't think anyone imagined this story being this big when the story first broke about the Bombers 48 hours ago.
Absolutely not, Matt. It's been a big surprise the last couple of days, and it's a day where our trust in the sports has been eroded somewhat.
Nick?
I agree, Matty. I think how widespread it is really alarming, and there's more to come. And the spectre of the organised crime in the background gives it a sordid edge as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this story and these developments today all centre around this. It's a 47-page document. It's compiled by the Australian Crime Commission. It's something that this organisation has spent the past 12 months working on. Let's try and break it down for you a little bit, what we have learned today. We have learnt that there are confirmed links between organised crime and drugs in sport. We're hearing about widespread use of peptides and hormones, that coaches and sports scientists have been involved in orchestrating the use of banned substances, that the current official drug statistics that we have don't really reflect reality, and also that some drugs that are used, and this is incredibly alarming, are not actually even approved for human use in normal circumstances, not even for athletes, but for anybody. I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Oh, it is, Matty, and apparently some of the solution of these peptides, it comes in a vial that clearly says this is for research purposes only. So how players could feel comfortable doing that if they saw that, well, it's beyond me, and I'm sure that any players who've taken it haven't seen it like that.
Now, of course, all of this news was revealed in a major news conference at Parliament House in Canberra a little earlier today, and for the first time in AFL.com.au's history, we crossed live to Parliament House to bring you that news conference. Let's cross to it again now and just bring you a couple of clips from the two ministers. First of all, Jason Clare, he's the Home Affairs Minister, and Kate Lundy is the Sports Minister.
The findings are shocking, and they'll disgust Australian sports fans. The work that the Australian Crime Commission has done has found that the use of prohibited substances, including peptides, hormones and illicit drugs, is widespread amongst professional athletes.
If you want to cheat, we will catch you. If you want to fix a match, we will catch you. And as you can see by the investigations that have taken place, that we are well on the way to seeking out and hunting down those who will dope and cheat.
Now, Nick, I know you've been reading this report since we got our hands on it. What have you been able to understand about these links between the drugs that are allegedly being used, the supplements lined with drugs potentially that are being used in not just apparently AFL circumstances, but potentially also in other sporting codes? What have you been able to learn about this link?
Well, the link is, Matty, that the organised crime is one of the biggest suppliers of these drugs. Now, I think that the real fear is that gives them an in with these athletes, that they can build relationships and then leverage off them. I think Minister Clare, sort of the biggest concern he had was that ultimately that some of these organised crime figures could blackmail athletes, say, look, we've given you these drugs, now we need you to underperform in this event.
Yeah, just absolutely stunning stuff. So, Cal, let's go back to the original story, I guess. And we were told by Andrew Demetriou, who we're going to hear from in a moment today, that the timing of Essendon's announcement and Essendon informing the AFL doesn't have anything to do with the timing of this report, although you would have to say that it's interesting that the Crime Commission has decided to go public a couple of days later. But nevertheless, where does Essendon sit now? Because unfortunately for them, it sounds like the spectre of this is so widespread, but they are the one club, the one organisation that is in the public spotlight.
Because they came forward, and Andrew Demetriou, I did give him some credit for that, but that won't give them a lot of hope going forward. They do understand that the spectre will be on them, they'll be the focus of media attention, and they are the face of this at the moment until another club or another person is identified. Let's listen to Andrew Demetriou speaking in Canberra today.
It came as a shock because we've always had a very thorough and very rigorous testing regime. But as we hear today, when you start to talk about organised crime, when you start to think about the sophistication of drugs and how the scientists are ahead of the testers, and that there's tests that can't actually catch particular sorts of drugs, then you do have to rely on intelligence gathering. So we've done everything we can, but we can do more.
A majority of clubs or a number of clubs?
I don't know.
That's Andrew Demetriou just saying that he doesn't know the extent of this as far as an AFL issue at the moment. I mean, that's obviously got to be concerning. You're saying they're going to boost the integrity department at AFL headquarters and they're going to review the performance-enhancing drugs code. But wow, I mean, that's the boss of the AFL on national television today saying he doesn't know the extent of the problem.
Well, I think it shows, Matty, that testing for illegal drugs is almost, or performance-enhancing drugs, has almost become redundant. You saw Lance Armstrong, he got caught basically based on the testimony of former teammates who all testified that he was using drugs. And much of the information assembled in this report has been compiled from testimony as well. And these peptides, it's worth remembering, metabolise very quickly out of the system, so they're not going to get caught up in, or be detected in drug tests.
Just finally, Cal, on the Bombers, where to from here? I guess they just continue training and wait for the investigation to take its course. We have no time frame, really, for the investigation that's been conducted by ASADA.
Yesterday, James Hird said that he hopes the players can move on and keep training and keep focused, but he understood that it will be an effect on them and their mental state. The hardest thing is that this is going to be a dark shadow hovering over the AFL as the season begins, and that's not what anybody wanted.
Cal, Nick, thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching here on AFL.com.au. Right now we have complete coverage, it's exhaustive coverage really, so have a click around and read all about it. There is so much to consume and so much to digest about this story, which will continue to unfold and we will continue to cover for you. In the meantime, make sure you have a click on Twitter and you can ask any of us questions and continue the conversation with us that way if you like. For now, thanks for watching.